And when you knock us down, we're going to get up. And on the way up, we're going to bite a kneecap off.
Go ahead and say it, Ed. Go Tigers!
When I woke up this morning, I was feeling pretty dangerous.
You like that? You like that?
F it. Jamar's down there somewhere.
In the New Orleans Saints select Marcus Davenport.
No!
Splash Brothers. Yeah.
It's playoff. Keep going, Brace.
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs.
If it doesn't fit, you must acquit.
What up, guys? This is Josh for Dirty Boot Sports with Chasing the Trophy, our fantasy football podcast. I'm going to be talking starts, sits, and sleepers for Week 9. And just to let y'all know, Derek, who's usually with me, he's out. He's in Missouri this week on a deer hunting trip. So hopefully he'll get him a big buck while he's gone. And I'm back here talking about fantasy football. Let's see. We'll go ahead and start. We're going to start this week with our quarterbacks. So we're going to start with quarterbacks to start outside the top 5. And I'm going to go with Justin Fields. Never thought I'd say this on the starts after the way the season started for him, but his passing has improved. He seems to be getting better every week. He still has the running upside to his game. He's put up good numbers the last 2 weeks. I think he had 2 touchdown passes and a rushing touchdown last week. They went out and got him another weapon this week in Chase Claypool, which shows me that the team's buying in on him. This all leads to, I believe, a pretty good game this week. And probably going forward, I actually picked him up in a league that I was kind of weak at quarterback. Just to see, I might end up starting him this week. And going forward. So if you're in need of a quarterback or just want a backup, just in case something happens to yours, Justin Fields is probably not a bad option right now. Now I'm going to go to quarterback sits. Derek Carr. He's outside the top 20 at quarterback. He hasn't lived up to all the hype that they were talking in the preseason. This team, ESPN and a lot of these other channels was really big on him and this Las Vegas team coming in the offseason, getting Devontae Adams. Our Saints last week shut him down. He had a really bad week. No touchdowns. I think he barely had 100 yards. I don't see him really doing, a whole lot this week. I think Adams has been dealing with an illness, so who knows how well he's going to play. Their tight end, he's been banged up most of the year. And they've been a lot more on the run this year. Josh Jacobs has been tearing it up, running the ball. So they seem to be more of a running team now. So I just don't see Derek Carr, unless something changes, being really a viable option going forward for the rest of the year. And for my quarterback sleeper, I never thought I'd say this guy was a sleeper, but we usually do this outside the top 15. This guy comes in on the ESPN rankings at number 15, but I'm going to take him because I don't understand how this guy could be at number 15, and that is Tom Brady. His divorce, I think it was finalized, so maybe he can focus on football now. The Tampa Bay run game has been bad, so they've been really pass-heavy all year long. And he's still putting up good numbers. Despite losing games, his numbers have been pretty good. He's still getting all this passing volume. He's been throwing 40-plus times a game. He's still got good weapons. I mean, I still like him. And I really like him this week in a game they have to win. They still got a shot to win the NFC South. So I think he has a good game this week. Probably a lot of passing because that's what they do. So give me the number 15 quarterback, Tom Brady. Now we'll go to running backs. I'm going to go with two running backs I like as starts outside the top 10. And number one, I'm going Deion Jackson. Taylor has officially been ruled out for Sunday. The two games without Taylor, he's produced pretty good. He's really good at catching the ball out of the backfield. I don't think he'll probably be as good or get as many targets as he did with Matt Ryan, who loved to throw those little short passes, out of the backfield. But I still expect him to get the volume, to be a RB2, possibly 1, just depending on how he does. He's seems to be a good backup. So, if he's out there in your league, I would definitely pick him up and start him this week. I'm sure whoever's got Taylor has seen that Taylor's going to be out and has probably already picked him up, but it wouldn't hurt to go look because, if you're hurting at running back, this would be a good one to start this week. And another one I'm going to put in here, Raheem Mostert. I know they went and got Jeff Wilson, but I don't think he's going to take a whole lot away from him this week. It could become a committee, but I think the first week coming in, he's not going to really take a whole lot of volume away. Chicago is one of the worst teams in the NFL against the run. I don't know for sure, but I think they're give up the second most points in the league to running backs. I could be wrong about that. They also got rid of Roquan Smith. So, if their defense was bad against the run before us, it's just going to make it worse. Since taking over the starting role, Mostert's been doing pretty good. I mean, he's probably not going to have no monster game, but he's going to have a pretty good game, good enough to start, RB2 flex position. So give me Raheem Mostert as they call him. And running backs that I would sit this week, I'm going with the Baltimore running backs. It looks like Gus Edwards is banged up. He's questionable whether he's going to play, and it's looking like he probably won't. So it's gonna probably be Kenyon Drake and Justice Hill if he don't, against a New Orleans team that's been a lot better over the last few weeks against the run. Their defense last week looked like world beaters, like nobody could do anything against them. So I think the defense this week for New Orleans probably shuts down this running game for Baltimore. If there's any running back, or I say running back, anybody running the ball that I like in this game, it's probably Lamar Jackson. It's probably not one of these running backs. If you got Gus Edwards and you have to start him, you better check because there's a good chance he may not be playing this week. And running back outside the top 20 that as a sleeper, I like Jamal Williams. Swift, he's still not 100%. He's been limited in practice. And even with Swift back, Jamal Williams still outscored him last week. I think he had 2 touchdowns. Williams is getting all the goal line work. He's getting the touchdowns. He's a good hard runner. It almost seems like he's better when Swift does play. Maybe you take a little bit of the volume away, and he puts up even better numbers. So give me Jamal Williams as a sleeper. If you have him, I'd probably definitely start him. Wide receivers that I would start outside the top 15. DJ Moore. So he's been great the last 2 weeks. He had a monster game last week, 6 catches for 152 yards and a touchdown. He had the long bomb at the end of regulation to put it in overtime. P.J. Walker seems to look for him. He had 11 targets last week. If you're getting that kind of volume, double-digit targets, you're definitely worth a start. Seems like maybe a connection with him because he looks like a different player since since P.J. Walker took over for Baker Mayfield. Moore looks more like the guy that we thought he was going to be, the guy that we saw last year and was thinking coming into the season he would be. So I expect a big game from DJ Moore this week. He's playing, the Bengals, who are banged up in the secondary. I think their best cornerback might not even be playing. So he should have a big game, and Walker's going to be looking for him. Another guy I like this week is Juju Smith-Schuster. Put up 2 really good games in week 6 and 7. He was on a bye week in week 8 last week. He's number 2 on the team in targets behind Kelsey. It looks like he might be the most stable wide receiver on the team. It seems like him and Mahomes is getting more of a connection. Tennessee gives up a lot of points to pass catchers. I think they give up the 4th most in the league to pass catchers. So this could be another. Could we make it 3 games in a row for Juju? I think we can. So I have him on a couple of teams, and I'm definitely going to start him this week and see what happens. Wide receivers, I'm going to sit Garrett Wilson. He's coming off his best game of the year, but yes, I'm calling it as a sit. I just don't see it continuing this week. They're playing the Bills. I don't expect Zach Wilson to have a good game against them, so I don't expect Garrett Wilson. Between weeks 3 through 7, he didn't even put up double-digit points. They've not been good passing the ball since Zach Wilson's took over. They basically were a running team, but now they can't even run the ball with Breece Hall out. So I don't like anything about this Jets team this week. And I think Bills is going to roll over them. And wide receivers as a sleeper. I'm outside the top 20. I'm going Josh Palmer. For some of y'all that might not even know, he plays for Los Angeles Chargers. Mike Williams is out. Keenan Allen looks like he might not play, and if he does, he's definitely not 100%. Palmer's the number 3, and he's a good wide receiver. When one or two of these have been out, he's definitely stepped up in some games. He kind of had a few pretty good games last year, and he's going to be playing against a bad Falcons pass defense. So he is definitely a good sleeper. If you have Mike Williams or Keenan Allen and need to pick somebody up, if he's in your league, he'd be a good one. DFS, he would be a good one. I like Palmer this week. All right, so we're going to tight ends. So a tight end that I like this week, outside the top 5 to start, and I'm going to stay in that same game. I'm going to go Gerald Everett. For the same reasons, basically. Williams is out. Keenan Allen, he's banged up. I think he's going to get a lot of volume. There's been some games where he's really been targeted a lot. I think him and Eckler gets a lot of targets, short passes out of the backfield, and he's a big target that has pretty good hands. So I expect him to have, I'm going to say, a top 5 week at tight end this week. So I like Gerald Everett. I actually picked him up off of waivers, and I'm going to play him this week. So I hope he does well. Let's see, tight end that I'll sit. I don't really like Dawson Knox. He's just not getting the targets, not getting any volume. With all the other mouths to feed at Buffalo, he just seems to be the odd man out. So my sit would be Dawson Knox. And tight end sleeper that I like, Evan Ingram. He's quietly been pretty good over the last couple of weeks. He had all the talent in the world, coming into the league. He had some big games, got injured, never could really get healthy. Seems like he's probably finally healthy, looking pretty good. The Raiders are struggling, so I think he'll do pretty good against them. He has, he has an end zone target in the last 3 games. So if they're targeting him in the end zone, most tight ends are touchdown dependent, which he's not really. He's had 6 or more targets in the last 4 games, so he can still get you points without a touchdown, but give him a touchdown and 5 catches, hey, that's a good week for a tight end. So he's a really good streaming option if you need a tight end this week. Let's see. Now we're going to go kickers. Kicker I like, start, which, this is pretty obvious, but I'm going to go Justin Tucker. I know he's the best kicker in the league probably, but against New Orleans, I think they'll probably get stalled down around the end zone, and Tucker will have to kick the ball more for a field goals, and that's what you want as a kicker. It ain't those extra points, it's those field goals. So, if the Saints can hold them to a field goal a few times, he ought to get some points. That's kind of a obvious choice, but, that is the kicker that I like this week. And let's see, the kicker that I would sit is Mason Crosby for Green Bay. Man, as good as this guy was for years, he's the number 25 kicker in fantasy right now. He's not doing a whole lot. This team's not really doing a whole lot. So he's my sit for the week. And also sleeper kicker, I'm going to go Santos for Chicago. I think with the way Fields is playing, they are moving the ball. And if they have trouble, getting it in the end zone, kick a field goal. They run the ball a lot, and a lot of these running teams, they end up having to kick field goals. So, yeah, I'll go with him as my sleeper this week. Let's see, start at defense. This week I'm going to go with New England Patriots against the Colts. Bill Belichick is probably licking his chops to go against a rookie quarterback in Ellinger. The worst team probably to go against as a rookie is going to be the Pats with Belichick. He's going to have some kind of scheme. He'll make that the defense. He'll have different looks for them and try to confuse the quarterback. And I think and the Pats are kind of rolling right now. They've won a few in a row and are looking pretty good. So give me the Pats as my start for defense. And my sit this week, this is pretty obvious. Go with the Jets. Anybody, I'm fading whoever plays the Bills because they're going to be putting up a lot of points. And my defense sleeper, I'm going to go with the team in the same game with New England. So I'll go with the Colts against New England. That might end up being a lower scoring game. The Colts defense hadn't played bad. They've had trouble getting stuff going on offense, but the defense hasn't been terrible. So as a sleeper, I'll take the Colts against New England. And that's it for the week because I didn't have Derek's start sits and sleepers this week. It kind of went a little quick, but good luck, everybody, this week. Hopefully you'll win your games and make the playoffs.
This ain't how it's supposed to be. It should be just you and me.